One of the characteristics of CAF is that it's a bank that provides all kinds of financing. We have loans, we can participate both with the public and the private sectors, we can provide equity, we can participate in funds, we can provide technical cooperation, and also support in a catalytic role, in the case of Trinidad and Tobago, to enhance the relationship with countries in Latin America.
And this is another example of partnership for prosperity for the people of our region, of the Americas, and certainly for the Caribbean. So we are very proud of this moment, and we want to thank our Minister of Finance, who worked very hard to make this possible. And we look forward to the upcoming visit of the President of CAF to Trinidad and Tobago. But I think what it does is make us a greater partner. I've been speaking of South-South relations as being more important, and this deepens and strengthens our commitment to the region, South-South, and of course for developmental projects, as President has spoken about loans being put forward. They are for development projects, and as you know, we are on a very aggressive drive for development in Trinidad and Tobago, and indeed in the entire Caricom. President has said that he sees Trinidad and Tobago as a gateway into the Caribbean and as a gateway into the Americas. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very much.
I think that's one of the more important meetings I've attended thus far. One of the realizations of governments, not just in this part of the world, but generally, is that you cannot operate effective government, nor can you have good governance, unless you bring civil society into the picture and do so in a meaningful way. Civil society has more than just a role to play. Civil society, in a way, acts as a check and balance upon the promise of government, when civil society is the one who actually puts government into office. And democracy, if you may consider it, is built upon certain pillars. One, the pillar of government and good governance. Secondly, you may say the economy, which involves the private sector and the creation of jobs and opportunities for people. And thirdly, civil society.
There were three areas of discussion in our bilateral. The first had to do with the partial scope agreement, which we are in the process of negotiating. Minister advises me we should be able to finish that within 3 meetings. So, having had a template from Panama and from other countries in Latin America, I think we should be able to complete that. So I think we will all be very happy that we can have greater trading links once that partial scope is completed. Indeed, His Excellency has invited us for a state visit to Guatemala, and perhaps we may consider that at the time when the partial scope agreement is ready for signing. If I am to understand your conversation and where you would like us to go, it is we are looking at innovation and entrepreneurship, and to what extent does the school curricula provide for that kind of knowledge sharing and knowledge making. And if I were to be totally honest, I would say at the moment there is not sufficient initiative in this regard for building entrepreneurial skills, certainly in my country, and perhaps in most of the Caricom countries. I don't think we put enough emphasis on creation of jobs, that when we leave the school, I will create the jobs. Instead, we go as job seekers. I think it is something that we would have to give more attention to.
Excelentísima señora Kamla Persad-Bissessar, primera ministra de la República de Trinidad y Tobago.
Entera, que entre cadenas y me comprende.
Señores presidentes, me contó este colibrí que estando más unidos seremos una mejor América.
A very successful meeting with the President this afternoon, raising issues of concern for the Caribbean as a whole. So our meeting included the heads from the Caricom as well as the head from Dominican Republic. As the main issue for me, I raised it again, I had raised it earlier in the plenary this morning, had to do with citizen security, fight against crime and drug trafficking. And so we raised the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative for more efficient use of the funding which comes out of the U.S. We also thanked the President for his pledge of a further $130 million US for the entire region, and for partnering with the United States in the fight against narco trafficking, poly trafficking at this time.